multiple law enforcement sources that the search for the escapee and jailer ended in Evansville. And so we can report that now that the two are connected. They have now captured the two. We don't know in what condition they possibly may be, but what you're looking at is a rollover crash. This is right outside the Evansville airport. Lots of law enforcement there on scene. You can see FBI. There's several different pickup trucks there. Possibly one of them is the one that we saw on Tuesday, at a car wash nearby this area. And what Brian Enton was saying, that somebody actually called in, I believe it was the owner of that car wash in Evansville, Indiana, calling on Casey White and escapee inmate Casey White and former corrections officer Vicky White. They have been on the run since April 29th. They've been armed and dangerous. That's according to authorities, for fear that nobody should approach them, that they could possibly have weapons on them. But what you are looking at is, in fact, what is to believe to be the capturing of the two, Vicky White and Casey White. And we don't know what conditions they're in. You can see that that car has flipped over on its side. But FBI is there on scene, showing just how major the situation is. And Brian, can you explain a little bit more about what you were seeing there on the ground, now that we can say that this is, in fact, both correlated, Vicky White escape as well as the Casey White?
Yeah, so this really comes no surprise to me, this confirmation, because all the pieces were coming together. And now we have confirmation. What we need to wait to learn, Kelsey, which is very, very important, is the condition of Vicky and Casey White. Who was driving the car? Are they both alive? Is one of them perhaps alive and one of them perhaps deceased? We don't have that information yet, and I assume that will be the next nugget that we get, either through our sources or from the press conference, when hopefully it starts soon. The sheriff told me they were trying to start on time, but he was still getting information in and wanted to get everything, sort of triple confirmed before he went on with this press conference from Alabama. But in terms of the scene out here, you can see, I think that's, we're sort of far away, but Luis will zoom in. Yep, that's someone with an FBI vest there. Again, all the pieces matched here. Why would you have the FBI at a normal crash? The U.S. Marshals are out here. And then, of course, local law enforcement. As it appears now, as you said, Kelsey, the search, this manhunt that has lasted more than a week now, that has sort of intrigued the nation and the world, has now come to an end. But again, what we have to wait on is to see, are Casey and Vicky White alive? What kind of condition are they in? And where does this whole saga go next?
And Brian, like you said, they've been on the run for the past 10 to 11 days. Everyone, the whole nation, like you said, on the hunt for them. And now we can confirm that they have captured them, but we don't know in what condition. Again, we're talking about escaped inmate Casey White and former corrections officer Vicky White. But joining me right now is former FBI agent Jennifer Koffendorfer. She's joining me now, and we're going to go to Jennifer. Jennifer, can you tell me a little bit about, this went on for 10 to 11 days. Is this typically what we see in a type of manhunt like this?
Well, you had a corrections officer with a law enforcement background that did a good job of the initial planning. Where it seems to have gone awry was when that first car apparently had mechanical difficulty, broke down. They apparently had to boost another vehicle or steal another vehicle and make their way to Indiana. But what I find very interesting is this owner of this car wash. How astute was he, not only to continue to contact law enforcement, but also to take note of what vehicle they got into?
Now let's hear what was said at the press conference. Sheriff Singleton, who has been on the case, tells the facts.
We appreciate all the hard work he's put in. He's had a very difficult job. Our district attorney, Chris Conley, is joining me. And this is the press conference we've been talking about all week that we wanted to call. Casey White and Vicky White are in custody. There was a pursuit this afternoon in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville, Indiana is about 219 miles from here. The U.S. Marshals were in pursuit of a black Ford pickup. I think it was a F-Ford 150. Casey White was driving that vehicle. Vicky White was a passenger. As During the pursuit, the pickup truck wrecked. Casey White surrendered. Vicky White has been transported to the hospital for treatment. So this has ended a very long and stressful and challenging week and a half. It ended the way that we knew it would. They are in custody. What I'm very thankful for tonight is that no one was hurt. No citizens were hurt. No law enforcement officers were hurt as a result of this escape. Casey White is now back in custody, and I cannot express enough to the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force for the assistance they've been in this. Their agents are actually the ones that were involved in the pursuit. And my team of investigators who work diligently alongside the U.S. Marshals Task Force, all the other partners and players in this, the least of which is not the media. You guys have made this happen. You've kept this story out there. You've kept it on everybody's mind. And the tips, what led us to the arrest and the capture of them today was a tip that came from citizens. And they call those tips in because of the coverage y'all have provided us. You don't know how much I personally appreciate the way y'all have helped us in this case. We got a dangerous man off the street today. He is never going to see the light of day again. And, that's a good thing for not just our community, but that's a good thing for this country. So thank you very much for your help. I'll be glad to take a few questions.
What's the nature of Vicky White?
Don't know. Just know she's been transported to the hospital for treatment. There was a wreck. I don't know if the wounds are related to the wreck or not. I'm sorry.
Are they found in the same vehicle that was seen in the pictures that were circulated today?
I'm sorry?
Were they found in the same vehicle as seen?
Yes, I think so. That Ford F-150.
What's the connection to Evansville, Indiana? Why there for that?
Don't know if anything particular drew them to that town. But that's where we got the latest tip, which came in late last night, I think, or last night. Followed up on it first thing this morning, and they were able to get some leads there, and it led to their capture.
Where exactly did the chase start?
Where did the chase start? I'm not sure. My understanding is that they had located them at a hotel, and they spotted them, ran, and the pursuit ensued.
Sure. We spoke to some of the folks that called that tip in up in Indiana, and they said they had actually alerted local law enforcement last week on Tuesday about that abandoned truck, and that it's taken several days for all the tips coming in to be able to get through those, get down the list. Was there something last night that changed your idea about why it might actually be a real sighting of Casey White?
No, I'm not aware of the earlier tip.
When will they be brought back here?
Not sure. They'll have to be extradited if they don't waive extradition. That can take some time. Of course, court proceedings involved in that. Over here, I heard someone over here.
Will they actually be brought back here, or
yes.
The connection, is it just too deep to...
No, they will be brought here. He has to be brought back here, and she does, to face arraignment on the new charges. He is charged with escape. She has multiple charges on her now. They will have to be brought back here for arraignment. We've already made arrangements with the Department of Corrections. He will be brought here for arraignment. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. The judge has agreed to come out. He will be arraigned and immediately transferred to the Department of Corrections.
Are you concerned about Vicky White coming back to this detention center since she works here?
She will not be logged. She will not be confined in this detention center.
Sheriff, what, if anything, at this point would you like to say to Vicky, perhaps?
I hope she survives this. I don't know the extent of her injuries. I hope she survives it. We don't wish any ill will on Vicky in terms of her health or her well-being, but she has some answers to give us, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to get those answers.
Was there any kind of struggle?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it was just a pursuit. They wrecked and they were taken into custody. I understand he surrendered.
Were they found with any guns or?
I haven't got that information. I'm not sure.
How was she injured?
Don't know. I don't know if it's a result of wreck or if it's some other kind of injuries.
Is there any indication, Sheriff, that one of them shot themselves during this chase?
I can't confirm that. I know that no law enforcement officers fired any shots for sure.
Sheriff, the eyes of the country, people across the world, in fact, have been watching and following this manhunt, you know, from here in Lauderdale County and now through 3 different states. How have you managed to keep going every day and keep that energy that we've seen here throughout this search?
I just wanted to get them off the street. I was committed to that. I was committed to every resource we had available to us to use those resources to make this event happen, to make this press conference possible.
Did you expect this outcome?
I'm sorry?
Did you expect this outcome?
I did. You know, I've always expected this outcome. I knew we would catch them. It was just a matter of time. What was so challenging about this escape was, you know, most escapes from a county jail especially, they're not planned. They're just sort of spontaneous. There are no resources available, no plan in place about what am I going to do when I get out here other than just run. This escape was obviously well planned and calculated. A lot of preparation went into this. They had plenty of resources, had cash, had vehicles, had everything they needed to pull this off. And that's what made this last week and a half so challenging. You know, we were starting from ground zero, and not only that, we were they got a 6-hour head start on us. So it's been a very, and this just speaks volumes to the effectiveness and the efficiency, it speaks volumes to the effectiveness and efficiency of the United States Marshal Service. This is what they do. They track down fugitives, and today is obvious that they do it well.
Is there any reason to believe they had help in their escape?
No evidence that I know of that there was anyone else involved other than Casey White and Vicky White.
Someone going to get the money? So,
That I don't know about. That's not my deal.
Are they talking yet or keeping quiet? Did they have anything to say once they're in custody?
In this newly released surveillance video, the pair left the jail last Friday like it was any other day. Corrections officer Vicky White holding the door open for accused killer Casey White, who was handcuffed and shackled. They can later be seen popping into Vicky White's patrol car, but the man serving 75 years in prison for violent crimes and the deputy honored with 4 Employee of the Year awards have not been seen since.
We have discovered some evidence that confirms that there was a relationship outside her work hours. I'm not talking about a physical relationship, but outside her work hours there was some contact between the two.
The sheriff giving us a tour of where White, facing capital murder charges, was staying.
From here, Casey White's cell was the first cell here on the left. You got the 2 windows. One of the windows looks into the bunk room.
A former inmate expressing shock over the deputy now suspected of freeing the massive 6'9" convict.
Everybody loved her. Nobody had nothing but good things to say about Vicki, ever.
In this small Alabama community,
I think they left the area. They had a 6-hour head start.
many are playing armchair detective, with curbside chats turning from confusion to concern for the deputy.
I think she maybe was thinking that they were going to have a relationship. He's playing her.
The Sheriff's Department confirming this 2007 Ford Edge with damage to the rear bumper was their getaway car, though miscommunication led a local police department to publish that alert before the time was right.
It's basically put us back to almost square one. We know they're going to probably get rid of that vehicle, so now then we're not going to have a clue again what they're driving.
Vicki White's former mother-in-law worried about a woman she says would never stray far from home and loved her family.
I figure he should have done something to her. We probably won't ever hear from him.